Welcome to the 198th episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined by Chronicle Executive Editor Eric Schwartz and Chronicle photographer Kody Christen. And we're joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, Shayless Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. How you guys doing?
Good. Fair week, baby.
Good. Fair week.
Red, white, and moo.
Yeah. I was going to say they're going to put it in Tumwater at the beginning.
So first up, Kody, tell us about the Loggers Jubilee.
Loggers Jubilee was a good time. It's the first time. I actually never been to the logging show before. I think I went to the lawnmower races one time when I was little, and it drew a good crowd. The event organizer told me the lawnmower races, there was around 4,000 or 5,000 people there.
Yeah.
And I would say just by looking at comparing the crowd, there's probably a good 3,000 or so at the actual logging shows the next day. Greatest parade I've been to probably ever.
Better than Oregon Trail Days.
It was fun.
Better
phenomenal.
than Oregon Trail
Days?
Days?
Above Oregon Trail Days.
Wow.
Let me tell you why.
They did have a cannon that fired a mannequin out of it.
Yes, there was a truck with a human cannon that fired a dummy out of it that they caught with a sheet behind it. There was some kind of car that was modified to do just donuts that was just flying around. It had these old guys in it. And they were just honking and having a great time.
Were they the Shriners, perhaps? That's what you've just described.
Maybe. I don't know.
Could be.
As I mentioned when I started describing the car, I don't know.
Little tiny cars?
No, it was.
Okay. All right, go on.
It was like an old-fashioned car. Anyway, there was a Hampton lumber float that had dual T-shirt cannons on the front, firing T-shirts.
That's pretty good.
T-shirts from the front, bubbles out the back. Can't have a better float than that.
No.
And it was a long parade, lots of candy, a lot of people too. It's just quality.
They also have really the bed races that you covered right before that.
Bed races were fun.
There's no time the whole crowd just moves over to the parade, right?
You get the parade goes down the same road that the bed races were on, so people just kind of stayed parked where they were. Yeah.
That's pretty smart, really.
Yeah, great scenery too with the hills in the back, up there in Morton.
We did staff the Loggers Jubilee all 4 days. I don't think we've done that in many, many years. Ridley went for the coronation of the Morton Loggers Jubilee Queen, who is Trinity Raymond.
Congrats.
On Thursday, and then Kody returned for lawnmower races on Friday, and then he was back for the parade, bed races, and logging competition on Saturday, and then your friend and mine, Jared Winselberger, back on vacation, went back to the loggers competition on Sunday to get the bull and bell of the woods.
A stout couple of loggers there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back repeat, as you found in your in-depth reporting.
I did put a lot of work into those 3 paragraphs.
Hey,
yes.
That was all you, though.
Yeah. So, Loggers Jubilee, a unqualified success, as usual. Other item, Thurston County Sheriff and friend of the podcast, Derek Sanders, made a noteworthy acquisition last weekend and entered into a long-term partnership.
Talking about his grapple gun?
He has become married.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, congratulations.
We're not supposed to talk about the grapple gun yet.
They posted a picture of it today. At least I think that's what it was.
Yeah. But, good for Derek.
I thought the helicopter
looks
through.
Very happy. It looked like a lovely ceremony. We saw some photos on fellow friend of the podcast, Wayne Fournier's account.
Still felt bad when we did the Oregon Trail Days parade and you shouted something about a helicopter at Derek Sanders, and I'm pretty sure he thought you were mocking him.
I was not.
He seemed put off by your comment.
Is that why the helicopter must have lost my invitation to the wedding?
Yeah, I'm sure that's why you weren't invited.
Yeah, I'm sure. Anything else from you guys? We've got some fair subplots to go through and a few other things, but any other preambles?
No, I don't think so. It's all about the fair this week. Of course, I hope we're going to talk about Little Miss Friendly. That was all the buzz last evening. Okay. Let's just get into fair stuff. That's the big news anyways.
All right. As mentioned, it is Fair Week, and I have enjoyed some of the throwback fair photos you've been sharing, like the one of Gary Mahorick of Curtis, who was crowned Hay King on Tuesday as the grand champion of the Southwest Washington Fair Best Bale of Hay competition.
Bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back. That was my question. This photo's from 1975, and I can't remember when they stopped doing this. They might have had it when I was a kid, but I can't recall. Bring it back, you cowards.
Sounds to me like they can have like a heavyweight division, like with the big round bales, and then a normal square bale division.
Yeah, sure. Bring it back.
Yeah, that's Sarah Burdick, Chronicle staffer Sarah Burdick, who does all those archive photos, and she tries to time them with the event. So whatever's happening, she'll probably find an older version of that we should share that week.
Yeah.
Those were quite popular yesterday.
They were popular. Yeah, the Hay King stuff, extremely cool.
I thought the the picture of the first Little Miss Friendly was pretty interesting to see. Never seen that before.
Man, I don't remember even sharing that one. It started in, what, 1968?
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I saw that on
We've done it
the fair
before.
website.
We did one special section once where we had photos of all of them, I want to say.
There were a lot of former Little Miss Friendlies there.
Oh, yeah, they all come out for the ceremony each year. It's a real who's who of Little Miss Friendly royalty.
Yeah. And then the other fair subplot, a story, the Demolition Derby is no more.
It's not really breaking news. It was announced about a month ago, and I kept telling Mitchell we need to have a story about this before the fair starts because everybody's going to be asking where's the demo derby, and then we finally were able to get that story in. But according to this story, it was a lack of interest. I also saw some stuff floating around on lack of liability insurance, perhaps.
Yeah.
Same foe that temporarily
be an issue.
slayed the Centralia Shales Railroad for a little while there.
Yeah. There was a ton of good comments. I thought I had the link to it saved, and I just linked to the story, so I don't have
What was
any
the
of those comments.
flavor of these comments?
Unhappy,
Yeah.
angry. Somebody ran it into the ground when they took over. It's the county's fault. It's everybody's fault. Yeah.
I think there is also a factor of time that is like involved here because Forks is also a big demo derby town, and they've done okay. I'm a Forks guy, as you know.
There was also...
there's not enough cars, there's not enough drivers, there's not enough people that really want to do the hard part. Like everybody wants to watch them crash together and see the flames and the smoke and all that. But as far as people who make it work,
one of the things I've heard from people that do the derby scene is like the best cars for it are, you know, like the old giant square cars from the 70s that are just built like tanks, and they're just not many of those that run anymore.
They've all been beat to hell in demo derbies.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then
that's
like
true.
people, and then the other option for cheap cars is like Honda Civics, and those fall apart after one hit. So.
Yeah, it would still be entertaining to watch for a few minutes. Just a much shorter derby.
They're a lot more, fiberglass than the old metal.
I think it's unfortunately just a dying niche.
What you do, you got to lift all the rules. So like, forget all the rules, no inspections, and install all the metal bars you want. And
Yeah.
you can just do it. I could do it in my Volkswagen Jetta if those were the rules.
Do you think there's no correlation between this and the Jump Your Junk last month or
No,
last year?
I
don't think there is.
I
I
really
was about to
don't
say
think so
somewhere in
either.
an alternate universe we still have the Jump Your Junk event.
I truly believe that. No, because they just did it as well on the 4th of July. So
Yeah.
since then, which I misunderstood. I originally thought this was just meant no more at the fair, but it sounds like they're just not going to be doing it anymore.
Yeah, someone told me the 4th of July one was the last one.
Got ya.
Do you think this will segue into there being like off-track black market demolition derbies just out in?
God, I hope so. Just street takeovers like they have in Portland, except for it's demo derbies. They've taken Pearl.
I don't see
Run for your lives.
I don't see why we can't adopt the combine harvester demolition derby like they have out in.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's Lind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or it's
it
Phil
is
Washington.
around
Lind,
they
the
have a rodeo
Combine
or
Destruction
something.
Derby or Harvest. Yeah, one of
Combine
those.
harvesters, yeah.
I've always wanted to go to that. Sounds sick.
Yeah, now that really feels like they wouldn't have enough of them around to do that, but
Yeah, you would think they'd run it. Maybe
Yeah,
those
yeah.
are...
If we don't have enough demolition derby cars, how are they getting a field of demolition derby combine harvesters out on the east side,
those
man?
farmer fat cats, man.
Yeah.
There's a combine harvester, they'll find them.
All right, and then the big item from the fair. Your favorite story every year. The one thing you stress coverage of more than anything.
It's important, Eric.
Little Miss Friendly.
I will not. It is not the one thing I stress coverage on over anything. But yeah, no, Gordon McCracken, the late Gordon McCracken, when I first started as a teenage intern, drilled into me. Now, Eric, you're going to think this is a really like lame and not fun event, but I'm here to tell you it is extremely important. And he had the envelope of the finalists in there that we weren't allowed to open until the next day because it was embargoed to KALA's morning broadcast as well. So I've taken it seriously ever since.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I covered 3 of those bad boys.
We have a winner, and it is Hadley Westover from Morton, who officials think is likely to be the first Morton girl to be named Little Miss Friendly ever.
Ever since that report from Jared Winzelberger last night, he covered this for us, and Kody had fantastic photos.
Yeah, good stuff.
I've been waiting for the email of I actually won this in 1974, and I still live in Morton. Something like that, you know? It's probably going to come eventually.
I bet the email would have a nice friendly tone to it, though.
Yeah.
You fools didn't do your research yet again.
There was just 1 Morton gal and 4 Chehalis gals in this contest this year. So
Yeah.
real upset for
Underdog.
Yeah.
I would like to add that we took a little newsroom poll on our whiteboard. No bets were placed or anything like that.
No.
We just wrote down the names and just everyone took a vote on who they thought might win Little Miss Friendly, and I was the only one that wound up correct.
Well,
So I rode with the underdog.
On the way up here, I
I'm
checked the
pretty
board, and I
happy.
didn't see your name on there.
You're
but
just lying to everyone.
I really didn't
right-
see it. You'll
right
have to
through your
show me
teeth.
afterwards.
I'll show it right to you.
He's so angry.
No, I texted we have also a reporters group chat in our company messaging thing, and I just was like, "Let's go!" I told you.
Reporters chat. That means he's just leaving me, you, and Dylan out. Yeah. And I bet you Dylan's in there, young SOB.
Westover said, it felt really exciting and it was shocking. It was really fun to hear my name over the microphone in front of 1,000 people. It's going to be a really great experience for me. On the other end of that microphone, of course, friend of the program, Franklin Taylor.
He was up
there
there
giving
for a
away
bit.
a bicycle, right?
Yeah, there was plenty of people up there, but yeah, Franklin, I think he's been doing that since 2018.
And he comes out in a tuxedo and does a song and dance. And
Franklin was on stage for probably 15 seconds.
Oh, no, he does a great job. He really owned the spotlight there for a minute. There was an internal debate as to whether to rename the award and make it Little Mr. Friendly and give it to Franklin. But
Yeah.
they didn't end up doing it. He had his niece up there with him, too. That was a nice photo you got.
Yeah, they were both smiling, just beaming up there.
Little Everly.
So, yeah, we have a new Little Miss Friendly. May she reign in peace for the next 361 days.
She just declares war on the Thurston County Fair.
Well, okay, our fair would overtake that one in
We're coming for Pacific County next.
days. Oh,
I
God.
deliberately
Oh,
sent Kody to the Thurston County Fair 2 weeks ago just so he knew how good he has it here in Lewis County.
No, I've
it's
been
a
to
much
the-
better fair.
Many a times I've been down the road from Francis to Menlo for the Pacific County Fair, so I wasn't too underwhelmed. I've seen smaller fairs before.
No, the Pacific County Fair's got a lot of charm, though.
Yeah, it's
It's a
great.
solid fair.
You don't hear anybody talking about the Cowlitz County Fair.
Do they have a fair?
I don't know. You don't hear anybody talking about it, though.
Who?
And whoever it was back in time that decided to make the local fair the Southwest Washington Fair and not the Lewis County
Just a
Fair.
flex.
Just genius marketing. It makes
Yeah.
us look bigger than the Clark County Fair, which we might be. I don't know. I haven't gone to that
we
fair.
should.
I
I
don't know.
never even heard of the
honestly,
Clark
I feel
County
like if
Fair.
it was called the Lewis County Fair, it would be a bigger flex because our county is way less people than Thurston County, and our fair is yet so much better.
That's because we're the Southwest Washington Fair. It's a
Yeah.
big draw.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, you had a picture from people that came all the way from Alaska just to look at our chickens.
I did. Their dad grew up in Centralia. They
No,
were
he
visiting
came
from
all the way
Alaska.
down here from Alaska to look at our chickens.
Anchorage,
That's what I thought.
yeah.
when I
Took one
looked
look
at
and
those
went, underwhelming. We're going back.
Go back.
pictures. It's some
Give me on the
fine-
next flag to catch a
some fine
can.
chickens.
We got to go check out the Anchorage Fair now.
And you're gonna shoot. Do we want to move off Little Miss Friendly yet? Did you have any more takes from last night on your first experience?
No, I thought it was my first Little Miss Friendly that I watched, and I thought it was great. Everyone gave great speeches, and seeing the reaction, I really appreciated that all the other contestants were great sports about it, not winning, and they were all lined up to give her a hug, and I thought that was really great, and they were just being friendly up there. That's what it's all about,
Yeah.
All worthy of the cape.
Yeah, I was happy to see it. Also happy that my pick for Little Miss Friendly was the
just
champion.
Keep talking about that.
Did you win any money on that?
Nah, I
We
didn't.
don't
Be
bet
a lot
on it.
cooler
You
if you did.
It would be a lot cooler if I
bet
did
on it. People are already trying to get bets going on the baby races, and Zach, who's covering it, said no.
He said,
I will not.
he said it's unjust.
He did say that. He treated the person who joked about it like they're being very serious.
Of course. All right. What other fair stuff do you guys want to talk about?
Rodeo's tonight, right? And tomorrow?
Tonight and tomorrow night.
And Ridley shooting it tonight?
Release tonight. I'm tomorrow night.
Okay. And that's professional sanctioned rodeo action. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I'd rather have an unsanctioned rodeo. Just bring in some wild horses from out in the country, some cowboys from out in the country. Who says no?
No, I think that's fun. I mean, I think Pete Castro, our former photographer, said that the Mexican rodeo, which occurs over at the fairgrounds once or twice a year, was his favorite thing to shoot because it was
he loved it.
less official and encumbered by rules.
Yeah, they get
things.
after it.
And less predictable and more fun to photograph, but I'm sure it'll be fun. They've got the full set of events. Mutton busting, we get to see kids getting battered.
That's always fun.
I went to that last year on not the in the rodeo, but the one outside where they had it set up as its own thing. A lot of gas. I mean, a lot of kids flying into some rails there.
Yeah,
Those liability forms better be rock solid.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they are.
The sheep guy would always pick them up and tell them they were tough cowboys or cowgirls.
Yeah.
So
Like
it's okay.
and he'd be like more exuberant the harder they hit the wall.
Yeah.
Like, just, oh, you got this. Yeah, you're fine. Oh, slip that eyeball back in there.
Do you guys want to? Oh, you got a story on a juggler. This is Reese Thomas, and he does
There's a
something
story about
called.
No,
there's
just a photo spread.
It says something called Jugglemania, not to be confused with Your Search History, which is a similar term.
Oh, geez.
A family-friendly comedy performance. It will take place every day this week at the fair.
Yeah, we had Kody went around yesterday and shot various things that were happening, and we had some stuff from the fair guide info on them, so we shot those. Did the hula hooping contest as well yesterday. Good photos there, Kody. We got the juggler. What did you think about the dog show? The Puppy Pals Live.
I thought it was pretty fun. The crowd was really into it. The dogs did some pretty cool tricks. I guess they were, if either of you or anyone listening has ever seen the show America's Got Talent, I guess they were a former finalists 1 year on the show. They didn't win, but they made it pretty far in the show.
Like they talk about it a lot?
Oh, they only have the AGT logo on all their posters, as seen on America's Got Talent.
Brenna, the intern, did this write-up, and she wrote, although they didn't win, they did get the seal of approval from Simon Cowell when he called Williams a, quote, gifted, brilliant dog trainer.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they had 3 dogs there, at least the show I watched, and one of them was driving a car. I was actually really surprised. Their biggest dog, they held up like this really small like a little hula hoop, and they were going to have the little dog jump through it, and they wouldn't do it, and they had the big dog come over, and he went
the
right
old
through.
bait and switch.
I was shook.
You couldn't even get photos because you were so
No, I did
amazed.
take a photo of it. There's a photo of it in there. I told Mitchell was standing next to me, and I was like, if that big dog jumps through the little hoop, I'm going to lose it. And then he did.
That show is at 2, 4, and 6 p.m. every day of the fair, so those dogs are just earning their kibbles. I did see one commenter that was upset about the overworked nature of the dogs.
Of course.
I think they enjoyed that, and it seems like something they would like to do.
Overworked? They're dogs.
Yeah. Do you make your dogs jump through hoops?
They get treats when they do it.
If I had a dog, I'm sure it would love nothing more than to
say
run
I had a problem with it. I don't speak for the commenters.
Jeez.
I never speak for the commenters.
People.
They speak for themselves.
The commenters-
Abrasively.
What
Offensively at times.
Anything else we got on the fair?
Diaper Derby tomorrow, like I mentioned. That's a big draw. It's at noon, I think. Registration's at 11:30.
Do you know where the Diaper Derby takes place?
It's on the community stage, I believe, the same stage where you went to opening ceremonies.
Follow the smell of diapers.
Yeah, do that. And that's the KELA KMNT Diaper Derby. Don't you forget it.
Yeah.
So when is the Chronicle Diaper Derby?
We don't have one. We need to come up with our own feat of strength. We've thought that up about that every year. But
It's going to be, we do it in the summer, the week before football season starts in the sports department. We throw diapers on Dylan and Zach and make them run to Blarney's and back.
No. Who's shooting that though? Is that gonna be you or Ridley?
Yeah, I'm shooting it.
You're shooting it. I want some video, man. I want a lot of Diaper Derby coverage.
Okay.
I want to see the
I'll tell Zach
champ
to take
crossing the
video.
line at the end. So
Okay.
I've been in a pit crew myself, so very experienced. If you need any analysis of
Yeah,
what
but
you're
what
seeing,
place did
just
you
let
come
me
in?
know. First place in the heat, and I don't remember second. I believe in the chipper. There ain't no second place though.
No.
You ain't first
No
or
one
last.
remembers who came in second.
I don't let my daughter forget about it either. It's been like 7 years, and I tell her all the time, you let me down. Her and my baby. My baby's not even able to crawl.
Any election updates? Anything change? Anything closer?
Not really locally. I think there was a story today or in tomorrow's edition on the Public Lands Commissioner race. Now looks like it won't be 2 Republicans like we discussed previously. It is more likely to be Herrera Butler and the Democrat Up the Grove.
Is that Doug Up the Grove? Dave Up the Grove?
Can't remember off the top of
Dave.
my head, but
Dave.
yeah,
Dave.
it's at Cron Line.
And then it's Swope and Bean, right?
Yeah, it looks
Final 2.
looks like Swope and Bean.
Yep.
That was the other close one locally. But yeah, other than that, nothing has really changed. There's going to be a debate with MGP and Joe Kent on KATU in early October, I want to say. That's coming up. I enjoyed that greatly, though, because they were sniping at each other on Twitter.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Kent told her to stop hiding, and she was just like, I have no doubt you're going to drop out of this the day before the event. Just like, ding, ding.
Cold.
Kent was like, stop hiding. And she was like, I'm at work, sir.
What are you doing?
Next item. Fortescue puts plans for a big hydrogen factory in Centralia on the back burner.
You've been working on that, haven't you?
I just came up with it right there. The plant was to be one of the main high-volume hydrogen production sites within the Northwest Hub. Australia-based developer Fortescue cited high electricity prices for shifting the Centralia project to the back burner, along with a larger proposed plant in British Columbia. Chris Green, who is president of the Pacific Northwest Hydrogen Association, said, Fortescue is not leaving the hub. They'll probably need some grace to sort out what makes sense. We want them to be successful, and we'll step through that. Translation: we're just taking a break. They're just taking some time to work on themselves, and they're not texting back because they're thinking of exactly how to be their best self. Not because they're out getting 3 or 4 margaritas and exploring their sexuality with that cute potential project site they met at the Clean Energy Mixer when they said they were working late. Maybe we broke up with them. Did you ever think of that? We could have any multinational corporation we want. They'd be lucky to have us. Anyway, this project was big, unwieldy, and slow-moving, and impressive until you realized merely getting it off the ground defied common sense. And then, much like its hydrogen predecessor, the Hindenburg, it crashed and burned. Glad we spent all that tax money on a sweet fixer to grease the wheels. Get this thing moving. Thoughts?
What tax money did they spend on it?
On the fixer?
Oh, yeah, for this. I assume you have like a number, right? Because if you said that.
It's been well documented.
Okay,
yeah.
what is it then?
The fixer was $120,000 a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's quite a bit.
Okay.
What else is he doing?
I don't know. I just have a hard time with a Centralia guy like yourself out here doing a touchdown dance on a big project that would have benefited a lot of people, maybe.
I'm not
and
doing
maybe
a
would have
big-
overused. Let me finish.
ahead.
Overused our local resources and been a great cost. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
But I'm not excited about running in and spiking the football on them. And, I'm just not.
I'm not
It was
excited
very
about
good
it.
reporting by the Washington Standard, very
Yeah,
in-depth
it
on the
was.
reasons, market-based reasons. I understand why they're not doing it at this present time. And it's disappointing for a lot of people, probably the school district, probably Centralia College. But hey, Aaron, glad you got your giggles.
My thought line on this is a lot of people lined up and were like, hey, we have questions. And the answers and responses were just like, don't worry about it. What if it works? And they were like,
that's what they told you,
What if
isn't
it
it,
doesn't? That was the general response. Yeah. Cody, you attended dozens of these meetings.
Yeah.
How do you feel about all this?
I honestly could care less about the actual hydrogen plant. I just
No,
feel
you
like
can
all my
express some disappointment in the waste of
let
your
me
time.
finish.
And your
Yes, I
time,
feel like
yes.
my work and time has been tremendously wasted for all the hard work of journalism I put into the future in this project, and it's not looking good now. But I was just actually going to ask you guys: does this mean that TransAlta is unshutting down, or
No, that doesn't change that at all. They're still going away.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
I had
not
to ask.
contingent on the Aussies taking over, unfortunately. Old man TransAlta still has one foot out the door.
okay? It was good timing though.
Yeah, you're not going to talk him back into it.
No, unfortunately. But
just need someone
yeah,
to
I
take
mean,
over for him.
there was plenty of people. I represent the side of the people who were skeptical about this project from day one, the way it was rolled out, the way it was presented.
From day one, you were not. You had no idea what was going on, and I recall
I don't know
quite
how
clearly.
hydrogen works.
And it was on this podcast. I
Yes.
get it. I also think that it was a big project. There was a lot of federal money in. They were going to go somewhere, and it doesn't surprise me that Lewis County would want a piece of that if it was going to happen. I'm sure
Yeah.
they would try it in Thurston County as well. I'm sure a lot of different counties would try it. I don't know. To me, it's not something that, I don't even understand the idea of it all that well. It's just not something that I'm, celebrating and ready to just smash a pie in someone's face.
I hope they get something great out there, and I hope it's something that is more forthcoming about the actual process and the science behind it and how it's going to work and how it will not suck energy out of
I just hope the
you
next
and I's
project that
house.
come along does not have a 3-sentence non-disclosure agreement that people sign that people will obsess about for months at a time and then say,
Yeah.
aha, I gotcha, when it comes out and it's 3 sentences and there's absolutely nothing in it. Because that was funny.
That was funny. Anyway, are we going to get reaction from any of the local people involved
Yes,
in that?
we are going to work on that, yes.
Okay.
It's fair
Not
week.
telling you how to do your
what's
job.
Fair week, man.
The Washington Standard absolutely did a great job of scooping us on this, and it's clear that they reached out to Fortescue and had this all ready to go, and they did a great job. I read through it, and the only thing that's missing is local response to this. I had no questions as far as the market, as far as why the company wouldn't be doing it right now. They did a wonderful job, and I'm thankful that they allow other publications to republish their work.
Yeah. Is that a Jerry Cornfield?
No, it wasn't, but he does write for them. We did have a Jerry Cornfield story in that same edition, I believe.
All right. You guys
That
ready
was
to-
the one about Kennedy being on the Washington ballot, which I know you're very excited about.
I'm so thrilled. Anything else you guys want to discuss before we go to break? And then welcome on a guest Kody went out and did a little producer work. Got
Nice
his
work,
guests
Kody.
lined up.
Yeah, I found this Jason Humphrey, the superintendent of the junior livestock auction at the Southwest Washington Fair.
Yeah.
He also wants to make an appearance on the Sports Dump because he is also the Adna C team basketball coach.
Be happy to have him.
You double book him?
Former coach of mine. I said maybe.
All right. So we'll be right back after these messages with Jason Humphrey.
Hi, this is Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met JSIC of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
We're joined now by Jason Humphrey, who is the superintendent of the youth livestock auction at the Southwest Washington Fair. Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys.
And so this is a pretty big week for you, right? The auction is something of a big deal.
Yeah, it's a kind of a year-long plan. As soon as last year's auction ends, we kind of start on planning this year's, and so yeah, it's kind of a culmination between the kids and our work. Also a year-long project.
Cool. And so when does this take place? Is it Friday, Saturday night? When is that?
Friday.
It'll be Friday evening. We have opening ceremonies around 5:30, where we kind of honor some of the kids with some of the awards they've received with their projects. We usually have an honored guest, someone that has been instrumental in the auction over the years. We recognize our scholarship recipients, and we usually have a little color guard and national anthem song, and then we get the first animal sold at 6:00.
All right, cool. And how long have you been involved or in charge of this thing?
I think I've been the chairman of the livestock committee for around 10 years, and probably been involved for 15 plus.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
How many?
And it's a group of 12 people with representatives, 4-H, FFA. I'm a chamber representative. We have Brenda Balmelli is the representative from the auction community, and then we do have some at-large people. But about 12 individuals are on the board, and then there's lots of other volunteers that make it all work.
How many animals do you guys have this year? And is it above average, or what are we looking at?
So yeah, we're probably up 15 or 20%. I think we have 215 exhibitors this year selling. Hogs are the number one item. I think there'll be about 120 kids selling hogs, and we have close to 50 selling lambs, a little over 20 steers, and then I think 25 goats, and then there's a handful of fryers, rabbits, and turkeys.
Okay, cool. And how much money did this bring in last year? Do you guys keep a running tally each year on how much you've raised?
We do. Last year was we keep kind of breaking our record, but last year I think all in total it was $715,000.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad. Yeah, $750,000 mil.
Yeah, that's all right.
And that's money that goes to the kids, right? That are selling
Correct.
animals, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it's every year I'm a little amazed at how much community support comes to that. I think it's really the fact that people keep giving and then giving in such large quantities shows that they believe in the kids' project and the lessons they learn from it. Hard work, responsibility, learning to market yourself, dealing with adversity, all the things that come with having a livestock project. I think the community sees value in that and then rewards those kids.
Yeah. And when the animals are sold at this, it's the auction price goes up. It's price per pound, isn't it?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so when these animals are sold, what happens to them? They just go off to a bigger, better farm to live a life of comfort, right?
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes some people call it freezer camp. Some people call it, there are different names for it. Some they come out in little white packages oftentimes. But yeah, so there's different options. So if the buyer wants to take the animal, we have the services set up so they can be butchered and processed and they receive it back. So that's an option. There's another option. They could take the animal home and do what they want. And the third option, we will sell it at the Shaler's Livestock Market on Saturday.
okay, cool.
So,
I've always enjoyed the range of emotions at this thing. Like most of it's joy, you know. These kids are selling their animals, making a little money for the pocket.
Sure.
But I've seen some sadness as well. Or do you expect to see any tears on Friday?
I think almost always. I mean, I think, that's human nature, and these are projects that have been, cared for and loved for the last, 4 to 8 months. And for those animals that have been big parts of those kids' lives, for them, to realize that, this is the end, is sad, right? I think to anybody. And so, I think that's a natural human emotion. And I think that is another part of the project that is learned, life and death and dealing with, and then the next day you have to kind of regroup and go on and figure out how you're going to deal with things. And so it's on a small scale. It's a good lesson there as well.
All right. What would you say are the benefits of buying local meat? I mean, from a personal perspective and from more of a community perspective.
So, I mean, I think it's well taken care of, wholesome, healthy. I'm not going to say it's better than what you could buy in the store, but who produced it and how it was taken care of.
Yeah.
And again, I think you're paying a premium for the work those kids have put into those projects.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Kody, do you have any questions lined up here?
No, I don't have any questions. I probably should have thought of one for my.
Did you ever sell any animals at the auction?
I did not, but I was gonna bring up when he's talking about how it's hard and emotional for some kids. I was gonna remind the listeners to remember that there are some kids, like, I'm not gonna name drop, but my friend Clayton Luce, sometimes he would like just have his pig raise itself in the barn and then train it to walk the week before the fair and just make a bunch of money.
I imagine that's not advisable. That's not something we would
This is not what
they
you should do. And that's just what he did. And I just would recommend people to not do that. I just wanted to poke fun at him.
Jason.
So the one other project we do a couple years ago, we added dairy heifers as part of the project as well. And so I forgot to mention them. So, but yeah, I think we have 9 dairy heifers that are selling as well. Of course, those will go on and be milked afterwards. They won't go in the food chain.
Kody has kind of been our project in the office. If we trotted him down there Friday, what price per pound? What are we looking at?
For Kody? Well, he's pretty meaty, I think he's at least a blue ribbon. I mean, I don't know.
Hell yeah.
$5 a pound.
He's probably, a reserve grand champion. I wouldn't go so far as, grand champion.
Who you got over
no.
me? Who's beating me, Aaron?
He might be a class winner,
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I'll take it.
Although from the romantic side, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of want for Kody.
Whoa.
Yeah, we haven't.
What the hell was that for?
He's already been slaughtered. It hasn't started yet.
This guy came up to me at the fair and asked if he could be on the podcast.
I just wanted someone interested in be on the podcast.
Jason, one last thing. Do you bid on anything at the auction? And if so, what are you looking for?
So usually, yeah. So my wife and I, we usually put it on our farm name, but we will buy 1 pig a year. I was a former owner at Cascade West Veterinary Hospital, and usually under that business, we'll buy an animal or two as well. Typically pigs, because bacon's good, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my parents typically pick up a half of a pig or so, and yeah, it is just delicious all through the winter. Anything else you guys got?
No, looking forward to Friday at the fair. We'll have a reporter there to cover it, and now we know to have them there at 5:30. Usually they show up at 6, but we want to get the opening ceremony here.
Well, yeah, and Kody.
I think St. Louis County is going to sing the national anthem. We'll even have a little royalty there.
Excellent.
Nice.
All right, great. Well, Jason, thanks so much for taking a little time to do this, and good luck on Friday.
Okay, I appreciate it, guys. See you on Friday.
All right, see you later. All right, we're back. It's time for segments, and first up is Tales from the Takes page. And one notable column came from regular columnist John McCroskey, who wrote about the assassination attempt on the life of presidential candidate Donald Trump. I did not read it, but I assume the takes were rational, thought out, balanced, as they always are. Any thoughts? Anybody? Nope.
I'm not confirming that either way.
I didn't.
You're going to have to read it, man.
Did not read it.
I've heard some takes on it.
All right. The other column I saw was John Braun, who wrote about, once again, the Democrats. I like this line from his column. Soon there will be no one left among the Senate and House Democrats to join Republicans in the adult in the room role. When he says adult in the room, does he mean Twitter troll and Jewish star co-opter Jim Walsh?
I knew this. Like anytime Braun makes a comment like this, you pivot to the most radical corner, but you don't do that for the Democrats. I wish you would do that for the Democrats.
Accidental gun packer Jeff Wilson?
Why can't you also do that for the Democrats?
Failed candidate your state party endorsed after a totally normal convention, gun loser semi-bird? Who are the adults in the room he's talking about?
I think he's talking about the
J.T.
people
Wilcox has gone back to his egg farm.
He's talking about
Probably
the people
himself.
who thought maybe the defund police movement was a bad idea when it happened, and it didn't take 3 years of rapidly spiking crime for them to backtrack, like those ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you not see the hypocrisy like every single week? Like anytime the Republicans come up, you trot out the most far right radical you can and then act like the Democrats are just rational when the far left is.
I don't think Jeff Wilson's a radical. I just don't think he's an adult in the room.
Oh, man.
It's just a weird way to phrase things.
I just wish that I could
bring
view
this up.
things
I bring this up because there
as
is no.
simplistically as you. It would be a much better worldview because then you can just pick on the same three guys every single time and then
they're the ones
devalue
on the
anything
opinion
John
page
Braun
every single
says.
time.
No,
One
it's John Braun
one
on
at
the
a
opinion
time.
page. Again, where's Jim Walsh on the opinion page?
Jim Walsh is in the news page.
Where is Jeff Wilson on the
Walsh is
opinion
making
page?
moves.
Where
He's
is he,
in the
Aaron?
news.
They're not
He's not on
there.
the opinion
But you
page.
go there every single time, and you don't go to anything of substance. You go to whatever controversy occurred in the last 6 months or 6 years, and then say this is indicative of John Braun. Like
No,
it's it's lazy.
Okay.
Struck a nerve there.
Name me one of. Who are the other adults
It's
in the
every
room
week.
other
It's
than Braun?
every week. John Braun wrote this week. Did you hear about what John Walsh wore the star? Like,
Because his column's the same thing every
have
week.
you seen this? Have you heard it?
I mean, it does kind of read like bad stand-up every week. Here's what the Democrats are doing, and if only they'd let me be in charge, things would be better. My guy, you are in charge.
The Republicans in the Senate are in charge?
No, Braun's in charge of this party that keeps losing ground, and he's like, why is this happening?
I believe John Braun brought the Senate Majority Coalition. That was the last time the Republicans had any amount of power.
All right.
And that was done with the help of 2 Democrats, which I think speaks to his point.
Yes.
Like, there are some bad ideas on the left, and there are some bad ideas on the right. I admit that.
Yes.
But, like, just to pretend that one doesn't exist and just bring the other to the surface every time a Republican speaks his piece, it's just lazy, man.
Well, if you had a Democrat columnist, maybe
I'm
talk
happy to
about
have a
them on here.
Democrat columnist.
I would enjoy seeing that.
I'm happy to have one. People forget. I believe we had a Trump is a racist headline in something like 2015. I barely survived that one. But I'm happy to run it. I need some submissions too at the same
I looked
time.
over my left shoulder once in 2015 and almost died.
Just saying. They were not happy with that one. I don't know if I'd survive it in this day and age.
That's true. You want to talk about the roof doctor? Or you know what are the other letters to the editor?
We had Brian Mickey's column, Enjoy the Good Life and Livestock at the Fair.
Yeah,
Just
Mickey
good.
in his
Fair.
bag, as always.
And indicative of the radical ways of Republicans. Julie McDonald, Evening with Authors, features award-winning writers, another hate screed by a known Republican.
Richard Stride commentary, like Sticks and Stones, words can really hurt after all. Don't I know it?
More radical speech. Awareness campaigns prevent overdoses and save lives. Guest commentary. More like guest hate speech, am I right? I'm trying to read the opinion page through your lens, Aaron.
Oh, go for it.
No, that's it. I don't have
to do
anything
the
else
voice.
on here. What's that?
You have to do the voice.
What, his Fortescue voice? I can't do an accent
the
like that.
pitch where you just go up and down. Like,
Oh, I can't do it like that.
I could do it. I have to have something.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Okay, here
Give
you
me
go.
something to read.
Read this one.
John McCroskey commentary concerns on assassination attempt by hypocrisy Democrats.
That sounds just like him. It's the spitting image.
I told you.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
We had, what else did we have in opinion? I don't know why I felt feisty today, Aaron. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh, we have a letter titled,
It was
So
good
Only
banter.
Republicans Can Call for Killing. That was a fun one. That was in response to John McCroskey's
I
column.
was going to say, what was that McCroskey's column?
It was in response to his column. Who was that from? Jay Olson has written letters before. He always signs formally of Centralia. This time he was like happily so or something like that.
Oh.
It didn't make the tagline, but it was in there. And then we haven't had a ton of letters since then. We can't afford to hand the Washington State over to radical leftists. You will only appreciate your freedoms when they are gone.
That's pretty good.
Quit spreading lies about Donald Trump. I can't get it. I got to
start quiet on each sentence and then progress up.
Yeah.
Can we move along?
Is your roof under the weather? Visit our friends at theroofdoctor.com. But really, let's talk about the roof doctor. Kody, you seen any bad roofs lately?
All the time.
What is your first thought when you see one of these just unkempt, falling apart?
So I think they need a house call.
You're right. Every time you are 100% correct. You have never been more correct. And if your roof is under the weather, give our friends at the Roof Doctor a call. We offer new roofing and re-roofing, roof repair, roof cleaning, emergency roofing, and additional services. Solar. They got solar power, you know? John Braun doesn't want you to have it. But it's an option.
Can't stop you.
Give the Roof Doctor a call at 360-736-0246. You can also call him at 360-469-5226. Or, of course, visit them at theroofdoctor.com to learn more about all of their services. And, of course, get a free estimate. They'll just come out to your house, look you in the eye, and tell you how much a new roof will cost or roof repair.
They'll fight off John Braun for you.
They will.
Don't take Aaron's word for it because he's untrustworthy. But JB in Chehalis says the crew were
JB,
quick,
huh?
thorough, and cleaned up well. The steps done during the roofing went above and beyond requirements, including hand nailing the shingles. None of those nail guns that those sissies over at the other companies are using. An ice water barrier all around the edges, all new flashing at the edges, and new venting material solidly attached. That's JB in Chehalis.
Curious.
It's just all initials on the website now.
Yeah. Do you guys have a People's Champion of the Week?
I
mean,
It's got to be Little Miss Friendly, right?
Hadley Westover.
Hadley Westover, I think, for Little Miss
pretty
Friendly.
safe.
Who are we to suggest someone other than Little Miss Friendly?
What is the judging panel like for Little Miss Friendly?
Man, I think the judges made asked some of the questions, right? Yesterday, it's like
Yeah,
Miss Lewis County, Miss
think
Lewis
there
County's
were-
teen.
Miss Lewis County, there were former Little Miss Friendlies on it, I think.
Yeah.
I think someone maybe from like the fair board or advisory board.
How strict do you think the vetting is? Do you think they call their schools, talk to their teachers,
They should.
Probably.
talk to the shy kid in class, see how friendly Little Miss Friendly
Yeah.
really is out on the recess?
Send somebody in to bully one of their friends just to see if they step in, that kind of thing.
I don't think they do that.
I would hope not. All right. Sirens Banger of the Week. Centralia Police Sergeant extinguishes trash can fire. Sergeant Carl Buster put out a garbage fire, and the CPD put out a press release about it. I kind of love this for them. Their social media person does great work, and I'm not sure if it's the same person writing these press releases, but it's kind of fun. I hope they get Buster a medal. Like, this is a good story.
I liked the satirical news site, was it the Lewis County Herald? They had a fun take on it that the Riverside Fire Authority engaged in a high-speed pursuit in response to police putting out a fire. It was pretty funny.
And then the other one on here, Lewis County Jail inmate charged for allegedly concealing meth in his rectum and selling it to inmates.
Yeah, it's the first story of the year that has had the word keistered in it.
Uh-huh.
I did a search just to make sure, and there have been other references to the word keistered, and they all have to do with jails. But yeah, this was the first one this year.
We'll see the day one day. It doesn't have to do with Joe.
What other? Never mind.
I don't know.
Drug mule, maybe? I don't know.
Schwartz, you like to go to the fair armed, correct?
I'm not going there unprotected, that's for sure.
And where do you?
I think today there's actually a gun safety show at the fair on the saloon stage.
I think it's
You're
every day.
encouraged to bring your own loaded firearm,
Yeah, they'll
correct?
teach you how to handle it safely.
And where would you
Wherever
go?
are we going to get one of these loaded firearms?
Absolutely.
Aaron?
That was going to be my next question. Where would you go?
To the back. No, never mind. You'd go to Chehalis Outfitters. They don't have any guns on sale in their current ad. I'm sure that
Well, all their guns are
prices
always on sale.
They're
Have you not
always-
seen the
prices
beef
are
jerky
really
gun?
priced.
What?
Yeah, they do have the beef jerky gun. The
jerky
back-to-school
gun's kinda
sales
sick.
going on right now, and they also have their parking lot sale. New items added daily, as we said last week. And it's summer hours, so they open every day at 8 a.m. You don't have to wait.
Nice.
Yeah, you can go in early, beat the crowds maybe. I'm sure there's always a crowd in there. But, they got all sorts of deals on canning materials, pressure canners, a 7-piece canning set. Get yourself a vacuum sealer.
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing it. I was gonna make a keister joke there, but I won't. I'm above it. You can get a 2-burner cooking system for $119.95. Save yourself $30. A Bullseye rechargeable tire inflator, $70.
Everyone needs one of
You gonna
those.
invest in one of those?
Multi-surface push broom, $17.95.
Wow.
I mean,
It's a big
everybody.
seller during the fair. I would
Push
think,
broom
in
under
the livestock.
$20 is phenomenal.
That's
Yeah,
a good
that's
deal.
that's a steal.
They're not making any money off that.
No,
They might be
They're
losing
actually
money.
upset to see them walk out the
think they're
door.
losing money.
that's
yeah.
a lot. Do you think somebody just sweeps their way out the door once they buy one of those? Just
They should.
giving it a
Sure.
little dry run.
I think you got to sweep your way down the aisle to test it out for you.
Yeah.
Just get a rebate too if you do some sweeping on your way out.
Yeah, you know what, Kelly will flip you a quarter on your way out the door.
Yeah. Lots of water products for sale. I keep mentioning this pool because I know you look at my pool and you lust after it all the time.
I'm going to need to see a picture
You know,
of this
I
pool that you
believe
got.
I would never, because I believe it's in the commandments that thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's pool.
I know, but it's hard. It's hard when those hot days come.
Just remember that the other 10 months of the year, his pool's useless.
I sit out there and I look and I say, Lord, grant me the strength.
It's not useless. It froze over in the winter, and the kids walked around on it, pretend like they were ice skating.
You have an in-ground pool?
It's on the ground.
So they climbed up
Part
it.
of it has,
They climbed
due
up
to
on top of
gravity, sunk into the ground, so one might say.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, it will
So
be
it's
an
a,
in-ground pool.
it's a hybrid then.
It's a bit of a hybrid. Your feet are underground.
Oh,
A
lovely.
little bit, just because you had to dig down for the foundation. But Kody, you're welcome to my pool anytime. Aaron, you can watch Kody and I splash around in there, but you can't get in.
Yeah.
You can't get in unless you get yourself. Oh, what was I just saw it? Hold on.
Might send a splash your way just so you can
I,
feel what the
look,
refreshing water is like.
every week I come in here and watch you two splash around in the Takes Cave. I don't need to see it over
I
the
would
pool.
let you into my pool only if you bought the $7.95 Flash and Splash seal, 38% off. Look at that guy. You can float around on that. Me and
that's
Kody will
cool.
be sharing the Whale-tastic Wonders that
Let
we
me see,
got
let
for
me see.
$16.95.
Wow.
Looks like that would hold 2 people. We could do some snorkeling, and you can pick up your kit for $13.95 at Chehalis Outfitters.
What is there to see at the bottom of your pool?
Or you can get the Crusader Essential Snorkel Kit for only $4.95. Or if you're real poor, you can get an Aqua Champ Essential Mask only, $1.95. It's 50% off. You're not going to beat that.
You're bullying customers like that.
I kept seeing a better deal and a better deal, and I realized there's a bit of a,
That's
step
not for
system here.
That's not for impoverished people. That's for the well-respected customers of Chehalis Outfitters.
More your speed, Aaron. You can get yourself some Strike King lures and bait, 25% off, and you can head down to the Skookumchuck River,
I will.
fish out some of that garbage.
You'll catch more than garbage with these Bait King lures, I tell you that much. Check out Chehalis Outfitters, cnboutfitters.com. But more importantly, just stop by the store. You know where it is. It's in Chehalis. On the street.
Yeah, you got it. Right there.
Facebook comments of the week.
I don't want these.
On the hydrogen plant backing out, this commenter says, one thing at a time, Australia. First figure out this breakdancing issue.
It's timely.
Another commenter says, why and how are these foreign's capitalized countries building in the United States? I Googled this, and the answer is because no federal law exists that restricts foreign persons, entities, or governments from acquiring or holding private U.S. agricultural land.
Someone
Something
told John
about
Brown
a-
about that.
Something about a free market. Heard of this thing?
That's unacceptable.
Somebody else writes, why the hell aren't U.S. companies building factories? Who gave them a business license? Everybody realizes Transalta is a Canadian company.
This is news to
Already
me.
exists.
But they've been here a long time. They're, we've become friends.
Old grandfather Transalta in?
Telling me their trucks got square wheels.
You tell me old man Transalta has like a Canadian flag flying out in his front yard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, somebody says, told you Barna's little project was going to flip, and here we go. You can go back and find my comments on these to compare. I did not go find any of his comments.
Oh.
Was this a Barna? Was this an Obarno project? I didn't really think
Not
it
that
was.
I'm aware of, no.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I haven't heard that take. So
It was.
Yeah.
The Barno's been real quiet ever since.
Well, now this is being stalled. What's Lewis County Transit going to do with their new hydrogen buses? Where are they going to get the fuel? Anybody bothered to ask them?
We're looking into it.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, we totally wasted a trip to Lewis County for Governor Jay Inslee a couple months ago, who came to check out.
Well, no, they still have the hydrogen bus, but we will ask that question.
He came.
But where is it
going to
get the hydrogen? It's not just floating around in the air.
You can't just.
I'm going to be real honest with the listeners here. This big news dropped. Half my staff has decided to take vacation this week, so we're really trying our best, and we're going to get to it. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and guess who's still here?
Yeah, well, you leave on Thursday.
No, where are you going?
Friday.
Going camping.
Oh, good for
It's
you.
just over the fair weekend, though. It's not a big
Half
deal.
the staff, Aaron. Dereliction of duty.
On some fair photos, this commenter said, bummer, you didn't get pictures of the 4-H dog barn. 4-H dogs haven't been at the fair for years, but we're doing our best to get them started up
I
again.
visited the 4-H dog barn today.
That was my thoughts.
Due to this very comment.
I got
It's
a
like,
photo
we need to go
of
over
a girl
there.
with her dog because there were 3 dogs there, and
Oh,
she
good.
was she was the only girl there. But I got her picture with her dog. in the
Yeah, we
dog
talked
barn.
about sending maybe Owen over there to do a story on that too. Good comment, and it was good to know.
Yeah. And then somebody said, I honestly don't know how families can afford the fair. Not anymore. And then somebody replied, most families can't afford much of anything these days. To which I say, look, I'll believe families are really struggling when I see the Home Depot marking their stock of 12-foot tall skeletons down because they can't move them. As long as those boys stay at $300 a pop, I have plenty of faith in the American economy.
As you like to say, Aaron, buddy, did you see the Home Depot economic report that came out yesterday warning
Quite
that a
bad.
recession is coming because no one's spending their money on home
Hey,
improvement?
buddy.
It was on the lead of CNN.com yesterday.
Oh, dear.
I was just saying, I thought that was a joke or something.
That
Has
means-
anybody
that means
told
cheaper-
the president?
That means cheaper skeletons, right?
Things are really expensive. I'm not going to name names, but you know where I'm talking about. And one of my neighborhood markets is truly getting their pound of flesh for everything.
I think they were first in line for this.
It hit
increased
them
economy.
first. Whatever it was about inflation, it hit this place first. I'm not going to mention it.
They had the
trying to
inflation
remember to ask you.
spyglass up months in advance, scoping things out. What's in the next edition? Fair.
There's a lot of fair stuff in there. Comes out, what is today? Wednesday? Yeah, you'll have Little Miss Friendly on the cover. There was a shooting in Chehalis yesterday. A gentleman's tires were slashed, he says, and so he fired at them.
Okay,
Big part of me wants to say as one does after that, but I'm not going to do that.
good.
And then, a whole lot of Kody photos. Cody's been knocking it out of the park lately. Not just saying that because he's sitting here. He's done
Cody
really
has
well.
been doing good
I think
stuff.
your message said that there are approximately 360 of my photos in this
Yeah,
next
it was a
edition.
vast overstatement. But there's a lot. There are a lot. I think I did use almost all your photos, not from the Little Miss Friendly take. They all went online, but I couldn't fit all those in print. I think I got 4 or 5 of those in.
Yeah, I took a lot of photos.
On the sports front, we've got a story on Centralia College's men's soccer program going for year 2, and Mossy Rock jumping back into the C2BL. You got any takes on that, Aaron, as a former sports guy?
It's good to have Mossy Rock back at the C2BL. They have been in there for a long time. Some of their greatest success all their programs came in there in the C2BL, playing against their old rivals, Onalaska, Morton White Pass. Teams like that, it's good to have Mossy Rock back. I haven't read the story, but I'm glad it's been written and that this move has occurred.
That's really good. And then on Saturday, we will have the last of the 4-part series from Chronicle sports reporter Zach Martin on his trip to Virginia Beach, where he interviewed Brock Peterson. And
All
I
right.
enjoyed his first 3 installments. They've been very good.
Yeah, it's been good stuff. Cody, anything else you want to mention? If somebody's listening to this and is going to the fair tomorrow, where can they find you?
The Diaper Derby.
Hell yeah.
And
All right.
I'll be at the rodeo.
In closing, we're sponsored by Summit Funding, Shayless Outfitters, and The Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you want, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.